G, this is Point Black, coming in hard and off the car, coming with the flow, straight from the barrel, and coming with that heat from the damn street. This is PBNN, Point Black National News, the late and the great edition, and the ghetto edition as well, because this is what we must do at all times. You know what I'm saying? This is the late, the great edition, and the ghetto edition as well, with the facts to crack backs and the boom bip to their line ass lips. Now, because this is what we must do. Because today, we're going to speak on many things today. And one of the things we're speaking on today is the fact of the general speaking about what took place with Malcolm X. Now, Malcolm in itself was one of the greatest black men under the greatness of man to show the heart and the care that a man would put forward of himself, whether awakening by a religion or whether awakening by research, his own research, and being recognized for his work based on what he was trying to do for the world as a whole, and especially for African people as a whole, first off, because that was a struggle, therefore, by all, not just, you know what I'm saying, the people are people, but of course, like Malcolm said, you know what I'm saying, he's going to deal with his people's problems first, and that is one of the most important things that he mentioned in itself. Now, we know full well that the government and the NOI, I'm not going to cut no short on you, brother. I'm not going to cut no short on you. And the NOI conspired in all ways to murder one of the greatest men ever known. And there were many, but Malcolm stands out in his time and century or place as one of the greatest men of his time, black man. The trueness, the reality, and even the realisticness of his words. You know what I'm saying? Of his words. And this is what we want to hear. You know what I'm saying? In all ways. In all ways. We even see today the same thing on other great men. But Malcolm is one of the stories and one of the legends and one of the greatest men of his time that we must examine what they have done to many men, Malcolm included, and many others, who come with the right message and who comes with the right words, who makes adjustment as he goes along to see the light of day and to bring that light to the people, even if it's just by his words. But Malcolm was a man of action as well. Even though they made up the story, and however they made up the story with Spike Lee, that's on Spike Lee. I have nothing to criticize Spike Lee for. You know what I'm saying? Because the truth must be revealed. Now, when we look at this situation, Farrakhan gave his interview and showed what he said in this time, and even saying that he couldn't go against Elijah Muhammad, so on and so on. But the Nation of Islam, to me, never cared about red the way they should. It seems like red at the time was their breadbasket. You know what I'm saying? using a great man this way and then turning your back on this man to the ultimate decision, or the ultimate bullshit, I should say, falling behind the beast. So we know that the Nation of Islam was to sway the minds of the people away from the Garveyites, or Marcus Garvey in itself. We know that it was sent there in more ways than one to control the minds of the people. I don't care how you got there. But we know that you used it to sway the minds of the people into religion, which is bullshit as well. And I'm going to show you that in a minute also. But today, since Farrakhan did his interview and gave his piece, and like I said before, and I'll say it again, I hear your piece or whatever you try to say or whatever you may bring forward. The only sympathy I have for you is that the fact that you took out a great man and you yourself died that day. You better understand what I mean. But you said your piece, and now we're going to listen to the evidence based on what you say your piece was. We must look at this. So let's take a look at this one.
General Sarasu said he kicked back, get your mind ready for some information that's guaranteed.
Now, you know who this gentleman is, and because you know who this gentleman is and what he's about, you know what I'm saying, support the general. But one thing we must do, So now, before we proceed, as I was trying to say, we're going to let the general do the explaining on this one, as we see here. So the general is going to put his input, because when it comes to getting many things said and many things put in many ways on the battlefield, you know what I'm saying, you've got to consult the general. This is where many will learn of the Nation of Islam, religion in itself, and many other things. But we're going to let the general, because we have to call in the general on this one. There's no other way. You know what I'm saying? We have to call the general to the chessboard. So without further ado, we're going to let the general do the explaining. Here we go.
General Sarasu said he kicked back, get your mind ready for some information that's guaranteed to be heavy. I'm excited and delighted to be accepting members to the Sarasu Seti YouTube page, a dynamic page. Y'all already know what it is. Black power, black frequency. You feeling that energy and frequency, you should most definitely join. That's right. We'll be on that. You feeling that energy and frequency, you should most definitely join. Link right in the video description in the chat. Click that link. You'll get a video introduction rundown on the membership, what they entail. You see one you like, you should most definitely join. Even if you don't, I appreciate your presence here at the Sarasu Seti YouTube page. Continue to engage, continue to advance. That's right, family. Ring the alarm, KingSeti.com. Online marketplace, official General Sarasu Seti DVD lectures, t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies, African and Kemetic jewelry, holistic tonics and remedies, home decor accessories for every room in the house. I got something for your family, something nice.
The window for everyday people to take advantage of
You know, you got to pay the bills. You got to pay the bills. That's something we have to do.
Hey, you have an hour this week, right? Yeah. Great. I can teach you how to play 100 songs on piano in an hour. No way.
Accessories for every room in the house.
You have to pay the bills.
I got something for your family, something nice. 25% off. Don't lie, but So when you
Excuse me, I take that from your time.
and everybody knows SETI popping on Patreon, BPC making noise, we never come. Over 500 exclusive live
Always
streams, never
something
to
that's
be
of the
seen
good.
on any other platform. SETI Live is lit. You already know. You have access to all the live streams on Patreon. Come on over there today, family. Become a patron. Any of the family donated, I thank you. I appreciate the fact you appreciate me. Any of the family see the general out here putting down this hard work, want to donate, the link is in the video description in the chat. Click it, donate. I thank you ahead of time. Make sure you subscribe to all my YouTube channels, King SETI, General SETI, Sarah, Susan SETI. Rock that notification bell. Give a video a thumbs up. Like it because you love it. Share it with your family and friends. And comment. Just don't say nothing stupid because I will ban your ass.
And that
Now,
goes for
family
me
put
as well.
something in there in JD. He said, SETI, have you seen the documentary called Who Killed Malcolm X by Abdul Rahman Muhammad? What do you think of it? If so, if not, please watch and comment at some point. I did see the documentary. I did. And I seen how he walked it down, and at the end, the guy who was in Jersey, who that they attributed to killing Malcolm X, and they gave him a damn carriage funeral. I seen that, and based on all the research, he was saying that, everybody knew who it was. It wasn't like they was unaware of who it was. They just kept it hush. And what I'm gonna do, see, I had to watch, because I watched it a while back. It's been some years since I watched that. It's been about 2 years. Maybe it's been about two. Matter of fact, it's been almost maybe 2.5, maybe closer to 3 when I saw it. And it was like, he did the research, and I had to take that into consideration. You know what I'm saying? That he was the guy. That he was the guy. And a lot of, like he's, based on the research, from my understanding, the way he made it seem is that a lot of people knew the guy and knew and just kept it hush. You see what I'm saying? Didn't want to say nothing about it. Like shit, when shit happened in the hood. And people know who did a whole lot of shit. And they just keep their mouth closed, but they know who it is. They know, or at least the rumor of who it is. It ain't like they unaware and that they don't know, because the streets get to talking. You see what I'm saying? Eventually the streets get to talking, and somebody's name is gonna come up one way or another. You see, it ain't gonna be that, it's just gonna be, people not gonna be aware, because people gonna talk. They're gonna talk. Now, whether they do something about it is a whole nother situation. And a lot of times they don't do nothing about it. They don't do nothing about it. They keep it hush. You see, and especially if the community, yeah, you say it was based on what I saw. Based on what I saw, yeah, it was convincing. Based on what I saw, it was convincing. That they knew, and so and the fact that they Farrakhan legitimized, it called them fearless, and these wasn't they was fearless.
Murderers?
These is goddamn cowards.
That's what I call
You see
them.
what I'm saying? These is goddamn cowards.
That's the way I call them.
To do some shit like that. You get no motherfucker, no being fearless and this, that, and the third, and you laying in wait. You laying in wait and shit. I mean, they did the same to prophets. You see, and Malcolm was a prophet, so you legitimize the death of prophets by collaborators in wickedness and shit. you give them, you give them.
Now, when he said laying a weight, we know what that means. And we also know that the collaboration in which was collaborated by the NOI and even Farrakhan himself. You know what I'm saying? Because you could sit here and say this and say that about Malcolm, but Malcolm was real. Malcolm was no fake. And you lay in collaboration with the government in order to keep the black people minds away from the truth and what they had need to be doing at that time in our time and history. You know what I'm saying? But when you have that happening and you see these people plotting against, you know full well it's a groove of a take out this, take out that, so we can keep these people in mind control. You know what I'm saying? And as you can see, the general will explain more into this.
Medals and honor them and shit and this, that, and the third. No, you don't do nothing like that.
Murderers.
Yeah, you don't do nothing like that.
Honoring murderers.
Yeah.
Have a great
and
name.
So
sounds like J. Edgar Hoover.
We got to listen. Now this is, they say, and they say Muhammad say don't touch Malcolm, but everybody got something to say. Shit, if somebody, if I had nothing to do, I don't understand, motherfucker. It's time to get quiet. It ain't no time to be, ramping up my inflammatory speeches and shit. My inflammatory speeches and all that. But here again, we got documentation. Let's hear what Elijah Muhammad had to say about this matter.
And as long as Malcolm was with me, he was that people worship him. But as soon as he went against me, he became back in Phoenix. He came then around to all of my followers, trying to get them behind himself.
That's a lie.
Just like the history is written of him.
That's a lie.
You'll find him in the history.
Who wrote the history?
Tried to take Muhammad's followers.
No, he didn't.
Muhammad was sick.
No, he didn't. That's a lie.
And this dog found his own vomit.
Listen to this.
That's right there, Apostle.
And he
You hear that? He say this dog found his own vomit.
After all he did for them.
Listen to this man.
had it, and it killed him. And some of the hypocrites having white people backing to try to start trouble every Savior's Day here. Reveal them.
We'll hit them. That's right. Take your time.
This time, warning black nationalists, start trouble, kill Muhammad. I said to you, I think you both had better be careful. We are for peace. There you have no history nowhere in this country, no city, for 37 years that we tried to start some aggressive act against anyone.
That's right.
We go disarmed, but that don't suit an enemy. That is no mercy for an enemy to have on you. He likes you unarmed so that he can kill you easy. He know you are not armed now, but yet he have all of his home stock. So he says himself, with deadly weapons to kill black people this year. I warn you. I warn you. that you may have weapons stored up for yourself?
That's right.
Allah have came to deliver us from such wicked people, merciless people, who always has planned the destruction of his own slave. Now today, he would stop all outside war to kill you and me. He openly tell you.
So there you have it. Where, you know, he's saying that, you know, that Malcolm was trying to steal. Listen here. Elijah Muhammad is telling y'all out there
You mean
that a white man
lying out there?
is Allah. Fraud Muhammad. You see, I mean, anybody out there, listen here. Nah, what people will tell you is because Elijah Muhammad established businesses. None of them here today. You understand what I'm saying? He established businesses and so on and so forth. You know what? Let me tell you something. You can do all of that, but ultimately, you have to build up students, successors that carry that down into the next generations. You see, a lot of people, you know, they, I mean, when you think about it, he's overrated. You know, I had to say that. I had to say that. You see what I'm saying? Overrated, because when you listen to Malcolm X, listen to me when I tell you this, and I'm talking straight truth. I'm talking straight truth. When you want any African, any black man, woman, if you was trying to give them one single piece of information, speech or book or anything that could teach the overview of black nationalism, what a black man or woman how they supposed to carry themselves, what is nationhood, what is black power, and all it. Message to the grassroots. You see, message to the grassroots. It's still to this day, you can just drop it in somebody's hand and it'll get them started. That could be their introduction. That one speech could be their introduction.
Yeah, that's true.
And all they have to do is listen to it over and over and over and over, and it'll guide you. That one speech will guide you to where you need to be. Okay? You just add on in the areas and get your history, get your politics, your family, you know your enemy, and build with your family. It's all in there. You see, when you look at Elijah Muhammad, message to and I look in it. See, I done studied it now. That shit is full. A lot of that is damn spookology. It's spookology. It's spookology. You niggas is in the sky flying on spaceships and shit. And you know what I'm saying? That's bullshit. That ain't what we need today. That ain't what and so when you think about, you understand what I'm saying? You talking about building dynasties, and not no individual. Ultimately, it's in the dynasties that you build, where you establish it, and then your successor is well trained to pick up where you left off and continue it, so that the institution is still here, the land, the food, the businesses, and all of that.
But what they were doing to the black people and are still doing today is the same thing. This is why the Republican Party in itself, to me, have never had any established ground outside of you know, before it became controlled by others. You know what I'm saying? And the successors of that should have been carrying on that, same as we see today. Where's the successors that would have carried on from the Black Power struggle that we saw, even going back, that gave a lot of people today the privilege to sit there and act as if like you could just murder and kill each other in the neighborhood and develop nothing other than a destructive neighborhood in itself. You see, this is why the Nation of Islam and them and assassinated people like Malcolm and Martin, because they want to make sure that they keep the minds of the people away from the truth, the light, and the strength and the power. You see what I'm saying? So this is why you saw a lot of these assassinations and different things going on. They wanted to make sure that the people don't have no leader, no follower. Didn't J. Edgar Hoover say, you know what I'm saying, he was looking for the next Jesus Christ within the black people or the black community? So of course you're going to kill people and do different stupid shit because they are Luciferian, mathematical, wicked, beastly mind of a Neanderthal man. You know what I'm saying? Or Neanderthal, whatever you want to call it. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying, this is the reason why many of this took place. They wanted to snuff out anybody that would help the black people to regain its strength and power that they once came and drive off and enslavement across the land all over, even in Africa. You know what I'm saying? Because you would see today clearly that in the many churches in Africa and many places that they're black, but their God is white. So when you look at the same thing that Farrakhan and Elijah Muhammad were doing with Farad Muhammad, the Benevolent, that's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? They were wiping out any black person or any black thing, call him a prophet, this or that, which he is, and snuffing him out and influencing you away from it into the Nation of Islam, you know what I'm saying, and possibly a bean pie. But at the same time, they move your mind away from that and then even kill the individual who is the greatest of all times, you know what I'm saying, and move him out the way. So years pass where people don't remember these leaders and these great men. We must remember all the great men that stood and shed blood for righteousness and for the right of our people to have the power and the strength and the glory of, not just in the gun, son, but in the mentality as well. You see? Because, you know, our people are in a mess. You know what I'm saying? We suffer and they turn their back. This is what they were doing to us all along. You know what I'm saying? How did Jim Jones get so many black people in his organization and took them over to Guyana, wherever, and made them drink poison and all kinds of stupid shit? Jim Jones was introduced to the black people and probably many of the Garveyites that had been, you know, driven away from Marcus Garvey when they deported Marcus Garvey back to Jamaica, I think, and many of the Garveyites didn't have any leader or follower anymore. So many of them, who jumps in to take his place? The NOI. And the NOI is telling them that a white man brought them and delivered. And Elijah Muhammad, speaking on Elijah Muhammad, this man has passed. I really don't, you know, get into religion, but Elijah Muhammad knew full well that the scientific facts and the facts itself did not show any malevolent. And another question: why, when people decide to find a religion or Christianity or whatever, higher heights or whatever, you know what I'm saying, why do they always need a preacher or somebody to be up there talking for this God? Like the general always said. I said the same thing many years ago as a kid. Why is it you are seeking something like that, but you always go and sit in a church facing the preacher as if you're going to some kind of seance? You know what I'm saying? So many of the leaders that we see, including Malcolm, one of the greatest prophets of all times, you know what I'm saying, you know, was in their organization, which I don't get down with, but he found his way in the organization, and he found his way across the landscape. You know what I'm saying? That's a great man. You know what I'm saying? And he did not see himself in all these different lights. He saw a man of greatness and wisdom and knowledge and I overstand. That's basically what Malcolm was bringing to us and the development of our people. You see what I'm saying? So, of course, people like Farrakhan and them who was down with the government, the NOI is not fooling me in any shape or form. You know what I'm saying? And driving the minds of the people. No wonder you have so many followers. You see what I'm saying? And there's many other followers of other groups and other this and other that. But we cannot allow them to even forget about the greatness of Malcolm and that great leader of his time. It is imperative that the people and the young people get their study on to understand exactly what this man was about, what this man was doing, and what he meant for his people. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? Let's move on.
That's gone. That ain't here. So where all this grandizing of Elijah Muhammad was in a period of time. When he passed, it's over with. That was in his time. You see, now what? One speech. Sometimes a book, motherfucker ain't gonna stop. But you can pop that message to the grassroots in, and it'll wake a motherfucker up immediately. You see, that what's in that message is Black Power 101. It ain't going nowhere. You can get started. Everybody need it right now. Fuck all the reading. They need that one right now. You understand what I'm saying? They need to be listening to that in school right now. Fuck a book and starting with message to the grassroots. They should be listening just like early when they go to school. First thing, just like they be listening to the goddamn Pledge of Allegiance and all that bull. No, wake them up, get them in there early and break down segments. Wake them up, and when they first come to class and give them 10 minutes of message of the grassroots. Wake them up. You understand what I'm saying? And keep going through it. And once you get to the end, start it over and keep 10 minutes every morning, 15 minutes every morning. Message to the grassroots till it's in, it's down in a spirit. You see? That shit is spookology. You get bits and pieces of it, but it's spookology. You see what I'm saying? Where they taking you is spookology. And that's why it's easy for them to connect with a Scientology, another spook system. You understand what I'm saying? The white man is the devil, but you go hook up with the devil and tell us to go to the devil, and he got a good plan. The devil got a good plan today. You see what I'm saying? I don't understand what is you confused? Either the white man is the devil or he ain't. And if he's the devil, then he's the devil. Don't tell me to partner with the devil. Don't do that. You see what I'm saying? You fictional, nigga. And so it's all a mind trick. You see? It's a mind trick. It's some things that but in Marcus Garvey politics. It's some of that Christian shit in there too. I don't deal with that. You understand what I'm saying? I don't deal with that. But the political aspect. But Malcolm, what I'm saying, modernized, what was going on right then and there at that time, and he took the Garveyism because that's what it was. That's what his father was a Garveyite. So a lot of people overemphasize the influence that Elijah had on Malcolm without it first explaining that his father was already a Garveyite. And so whether the nigga Malcolm X had went into the streets and it had took his mind from him, which it could happen, but the seeds had already been planted by his father and his mother, you see, who were Garvey. That seed had already been planted. And so he had already heard the philosophies and opinions of Marcus Garvey through his father, the nationalism, to stand up and be respectful of who you are, African and African national. So when you seen him going over to Africa, that ain't had nothing to do with Elijah Muhammad. That was Marcus Garvey. That was his father. You see what I'm saying? Malcolm X was the resurrection of Marcus Garvey. You see what I'm saying? See, Marcus Garvey, in many respects, he was for his time, but he was before his time. You see, he was before his time because Africa wasn't ready. You see what I'm saying? They wasn't, they were still under the yoke. By the time Malcolm came, they was ready to throw off the yoke. You see what I'm saying? So the fires was lit in Africa. And Malcolm was a strategician to the point where he was over there, coordinating in many areas of Africa, coordinating, dealing. Farrakhan didn't never had that. Elijah Muhammad never had that. He didn't have that type of relationship with Africa. He was talking shit about your eyebrows and shit, talking to Asian shit. He was talking to Asiatic bullshit. You understand what I'm saying? That our hair used to be straight like our eyebrows. And that's why these niggas straighten their hair and put a part in their head so they could look like Master Fraud Muhammad, a white man. You see? A white man. The black man is God, but a white man came and told us that the black man is God. And I can look up on the walls of Egypt and see black men. We don't need no goddamn Fraud Muhammad to come and tell us nothing like that. What is you talking about? You understand what I'm saying? Even Marcus Garvey was talking about, the Rastafarians took that. Teachings of Marcus Garvey and created Rastafarianism. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, it was other men that had, I understand where he talks about the divinity that the black man has got in that aspect, but I don't want to overemphasize that because there's so much bullshit connected to that